Mr. Cope, it's always good to see you. I like your sunglasses. All right, in today's meet, I'm going to be going over um, Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Drawings, and Google Keep. These are some tools that you may have heard of, and a lesser known one is probably Google Keep and Google Drawings. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. I know there's about one more minute. There's still some people coming in, but I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, and how we get to these things is through you're logged into Google Chrome. You go to your waffle, and you can see this is Google Docs. This one is Google Slides. If you scroll down and you do not see Google Drawings or Google Keep, there's Google Keep. But if you do not see it, you can go to your Google Drive and click on your new button. Whoops. Cancel. No, I don't want to create a new folder. And go to more. There is Google Drawings right here. So Google Drawings is used for creating posters, for creating something like a hyperdoc. You can change the layout of your the size of your platform here and make it bigger, smaller. That's up to you. And you can use this for those of you who like to create banners for your Google Classroom. You can do it in Google Slides, or you can do it here in a Google Drawing. So it has a lot of the same tools that you would use in Google Slides. You go to the same tools as in Google Slides, such as creating, inserting a background, an image. You can pull up your images from the web, from your Google Drive, from your photos if you have photos stored in Google Photos. You can use something by URL. So if you want to insert a GIF or anything like that, you can insert it like this, and of course your camera. So that's how you insert images, text boxes. The same thing as in Google Slides. You just click text box and click where you want it on the platform here. And shapes, you click on the shapes that you want. You have all of these selections here, arrows, all the different types of arrows, call outs, equations. Some of the, I guess, lesser known tools are to make yourself more productive when you're doing things like this are things like this little paint roller. And I don't know if any of you have ever used the paint format tool, but when you create something on your platform here and you want to duplicate that same format throughout your picture here. So if you have, let's put in a shape, and I'm going to customize my shape. So let's say I want a purple background and I want black, but I want it really thick. And then I want to do another shapes, wrong one. And I don't want to have to keep doing that every time. Oops, go to my shape again. I can use my paint roller. So I click on the first image, click my paint roller, and I simply click it. Whoops. And then I can get that same format to all the other shapes without having to go back to my fill color and my border color and my weight border to get the same effects for each one. So that can make that a little faster when I am fixing my picture here. So another maybe lesser known thing is getting these shapes or images linked to something is Control K, and then I can paste in a link and I can link these to any URL or even in a set of slides or a document, a Google Doc if I want my students to go to that. So I can link it to anything else that I have. So that's what that tool is, and that's how we can link things. If I want with this background, if sometimes I'm like, oh, I wanted this whole background to be, um, let's say I wanted it yellow, and I'm just picking hideous colors on purpose, and it's in the wrong place. I'm just going to right click and I'm going to send it to the back. So I right click, I go to order, send to back, and now it's where it needs to be. If I want to move stuff around, I can still move things around. I can still move my background around. So I have to make sure that I don't click on that background one if I don't want it moved. So that's how I get those. Notice when I do click on one of my objects, all these other tools come up and I have format options. A lot of people do not know about the format options. So I can click on that and it brings up all these other things here. So I'm going to go over to my demo drawing that I have here. And what I did here is I got the same picture, but I formatted these pictures. So this is the original one, and I went ahead and clicked on this one and used my format options to give it some depth. Notice there's a shadow on there. I changed the color on it, and I did link this to the Natural Museum of Natural History. So I went to recolor and I changed it to grayscale. I went to adjustments and I changed the brightness, the contrast. So you have all these options to really make your pictures stand out a little bit more. I can change the transparency of the objects, the distance. So this is where I get my shadow. I can change it from one side to the other, to the top, to the bottom, things like that. And I can do that with just about any object that I have in here. If I want to put a shadow on this one, I can. So the same thing, I can. It's a little harder to see on a boxed object like this. So, but there it is. Let me remind you to please turn your mic off when you come in so I don't have to. And whoops, let's go back to this one. So again, if you have those, if you want to change the size from within format options, you have that ability to do so. And you can get really technical and do that, but you can also just change it from here. So notice if I change it here, it keeps it in proportion. If I change it here, it's going to change the height and width. So if I go back to my demo here, so if I click on me and I change it here, it's going to squish me. So I don't want to always use that unless it is something simple like that, like a box, and I do need a rectangle. But if I want to keep it in proportion, use the corners to change objects, not the sides. And then of course, you can flip it. You can rotate it. You can rotate your objects. If I do want my person looking the other direction, I right click again and I flip horizontally. And so it's looking at the statues instead of the painting. I am going to go show you the differences between the drawings and the slides. And there's not too many, except that you have options to add more slides, whereas in drawings, you just have this one. You can't add more. It's just one that you can work on, one little platform here. Slides, you can add as many as you want to. And to increase productivity, if you like the layout of something, you highlight this slide over here and you can use Control D, so you can duplicate those slides and get them all set up and ready for you to use. You have the same little paint roller as you do in drawings. You can, if you like something in here and you want to use it the same way in here. So if I put the same shape, but I don't want to have to go and customize it again, I would click on this shape and click the roller and then click that, except it didn't make it smaller. So I would have to do that part. But it gave me the same thickness and same color, which is just black, and that way I can just do that. And to make this easier, I can get it all ready and then duplicate my slides. So that way I don't have to keep using that tool. Some of the other features in here, let's see, a lot of teachers ask how I get a GIF in my slides. They want to make it animated. Kids like animations. So I use Giphy, but you can also use, just look up Google and go to GIF. Let's see about a jumping frog. I can't spell here. And I want a sticker. I want him by himself. So here's my frog. I go to copy link. I use this one right here. So I copy it. Go back to here and I go to insert image by URL and that's where I paste it. And so that's how I get my little jumping frog in my slides. And I place them where I want. So there's my fun, interactive little slide right here. I could even click him and link him to a different slide. So if I want him to go to slide 4, he can, when the students click on the jumping frog, maybe that slide is about frogs, that would make it go to slide 4. So another fun way to make that little frog even more interactive. All right, so just a couple more minutes on Google Slides and we'll go on to kind of going back and forth between drawings and slides because they're so similar, but let's see. If you want to publish the slides, you have that option to publish to the web. And when you do that, that means you're allowing pretty much anyone on the web to see it. You could also publish it to our district. So if I click that, I can make it to where it starts by itself. I can click this one, I can have it restart after it finishes. I can make the slides go very slow. I can make them go very fast. That part is up to me. I can, if I have a website, I can get the embed and I can embed it into my website. That's a whole nother session if you want to learn how to set up websites and embed slides, embed um, even Google Docs, things like that. You can do that as well. So I'm not going to publish this, but that is where you would find the link to publish it to the web. And that is how you publish something to the web. And if you decide you do not want this anymore, you could always move it to the trash. You can take it straight out of the trash if you'd want to. For your students who are having a difficult time with their internet, you can also make your slides available offline so that they can view the slides uh, when they're not online, but they can still see them. You can do that too. If you want to share this, you can go here, whoops, to share, or you can also go to the share button on this side. Unlike, I don't know if some of you are familiar with PowerPoint, but the page setup is down here. So if you want to change the width of your slides, the length of your slides, you can change it here. For those of you who want to make a banner for your Google Classroom, you go to custom and you change it here. I do believe it's 8.33 by 2.08 inches. I could be wrong because I'm good with numbers, but I don't have photographic memory. But I think that was the size you use for the Google Classroom. So then those are most of the things you would use in most popular ones anyways. And then we go to edit. There's your typical edit tools. A lot of the shortcuts. My favorite one, Control Z, because I do make a lot of mistakes when I'm trying to fix something. So if you do make a mistake, Control Z is your friend. I rarely use the Control Y. If you want to cut something out, Control X, copy paste. Everyone should know these ones. Control C, Control V. A lot of what you get offline. And I know there's some people worried about copyright. Usually, if you're not trying to sell it and you're using it for educational purposes, you do have the right to use it. So just remember those things are in place, but usually you can use things as long as you're not using commercial things like Disney and things like that too often. You have your view button here. You have your present button, but you also have it over here. And grid view, which just changes this right here where you can, whoops, into this. So if I don't want my slides like this gives me a chance to rearrange them and put them where I want them. And it makes it a lot easier to move my slides around. And you can change it back by going over here or going back to view and changing it that way. Grid view also, if you hold down your control button, you can, and I don't want that one clicked, you can quickly delete or get rid of slides, things like that, or even copy a bunch of slides all at once so that you can copy them onto a new set of slides. Let's go back to this view. And you have options for your slides. You can, like I said, you can duplicate slide. I don't know why it doesn't have the shortcut there, but it is Control D to duplicate a slide, uh, delete slides, skip slides, and you could even move your slides up and down the same way like we did in grid view. If you don't like the arrangement, you can do it here too. And let's go over um, tools real quick. So you do have, just like in Google Docs, if you use Google Docs, you have spell check, you have a dictionary, and what's really nice about Google is they do have voice type speaker notes. So if you are tired of typing, use this to your advantage because it can help you save a lot of time. I know some of you maybe don't like talking to yourself, but I do all the time. We all do. Come on now. So go ahead and talk to yourself. Write those notes up by just speaking into your microphone and get them done a lot faster. And that'll save you a whole lot of time. Any coders in the building, there's a script editor. You can open that up. And of course, your preferences. This gives you the ability to um, turn these off and on. If you want all these off, you can turn them all off. I like to have these on, so it helps me work a little bit faster. Automatically capitalize my words. Yeah, who doesn't want that? So, and then of course your substitutions, you can customize these. Some of these are already done, but like this little star, I put double star to make one big star in here. So if I put that on my document here, if I put star star, it's going to make the star on my slides here. So I'm going to show you here. Star star, and it makes that star. All right. So let's go back over to drawings because I went over my couple minutes. So from this to this, you can see a lot of the tools are somewhat minimized. Unless I clicked on an object, you don't have these tools right here. Um, so it kind of minimizes that. But if I put text in, you will see those tools reappear. So it depends on what I have out. You have, with text, you have the ability to put in the type of font. A lot of teachers said that they don't have very many selections, but if you go to more fonts, you have tons and tons and tons, and it just keeps going on and on and on. I don't think I've ever gotten to the very bottom because if I just keep scrolling, it'll just keep going. So plenty to choose from. If you have a favorite, you can go in here and you can look it up. My favorite is the one I have up here, which is called Nothing You Can Do. So that is my favorite here, and I can change the size, bold, things like that. Um, so I think that was one thing that this one does have that insert. This one has word art. I don't know if this one has word art. Oh, it does have word art. So you can use word art on both of these. Um, and then you can customize that as well by changing the colors here and the outline here. And all right. Other things that let's see, I think I've gone over adding links to objects, formatting. Your tools are pretty much the same as in Google Slides. Sharing, when you are sharing something like Google Slides or Google Drawings, you have a couple options. You can share with a person. And so if I shared this with Mr. Morgan, it's automatically defaulted to editor, and that means he can change anything that's on here. But if I just want him to take a look at it, I need to make sure that I change this to viewer or even commenter. A lot of people share things and they don't realize that they're sharing it to where everyone can make changes because they want to share their resources. But make sure you change that, because everyone can change things and then they start changing the original, then they get upset like, hey, that was mine. So make sure that that is changed. Or you can
So
use the link.
I have a question real quick. Do you mind if I interrupt because it's just on this
Yeah, go ahead.
subject? So when you post for students and you've got your slides, and then you make a copy for every student, are they able to edit their? It just comes just to them, right? They're not able to edit your original. Is that correct?
Right. So when you use it through Google Classroom, it does automatically force them to make a copy for themselves. So you don't have to worry about the settings in here.
Thank you.
Mhm. So when you're sharing with teachers and other people, you can also, if you're sharing to like a group in an email, you can get this part, uh, get the link and copy the link and share it with anyone here. So notice my little button changed up here because I now have a shareable link up here. All right, so that's all about Google Slides, Google Drawings. I'm going to go to the chat, see if there's any questions. Looks like there might be quite a bit. Yes, Brandy, the chat is recorded. Let me go back up. Oh, the sign in. I will get the sign in sheet. Thank you for reminding me. I will put it in the chat here. So Nancy, the GIF, it can be any GIF off the internet, and I can show you real quick how to do that. And all right, so let's do that real quick. So if I go, and I just look up, whoops, frog GIF. And let's say this little guy right here. If I right click on him and let me think, I copy image address and I go back to insert by URL. And then insert it that way. So that's another way to put in a GIF. Oops. And let me get our Google form. And there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and move over. If there's not any other questions on slides and drawings, I kind of combine those two. Go ahead and move over to Google Docs and then later Google Keep.
Hi, Anita. I have a really quick question.
Go for it.
I guess drawings, I can't find it in my little waffle. I don't know. Do I get to it a different way?
Yeah, so you can go to your Google Drive and then under that little plus button, go to more and then Google Drawings. If
Okay,
it's
okay.
not if it's not one that you use very often, it probably won't show up in that waffle. You
Okay,
can add it to there, but you can also find it here, or you can Google it and just put Google Drawings and you should be able to find it.
cool. All right, thank you.
And all right. So this is my demo docs. So if you've never used Google Docs, just said hello. But here is a blank one. This is what it looks like whenever you first open one up. This is where you put in the name of your it'll just have untitled document. That's the first thing you want to do if you're going to keep it, is name your document. I meant to show that on slides and drawings, but it's in the same place. Always name those things. Another thing that I didn't mention was you can star your favorite documents or something that you're currently working on. So I don't know if you were in my session last week, but if you go to your starred, it gives you all the things that you're working on currently. So if you put it there, you can find it quickly and easily and go back to it without having to go crazy searching for it. And a lot of the same tools that you saw in the other Google slides and drawings. You have your file, your edit, your view, insert, format, your tools. Um, the other ones had add-ons too, and that's pretty much up to you on how you want to use your add-ons or what add-ons you want. Some of them are blocked by our district, but you can get things like yeah, magic rainbow unicorns, and that one is is just kind of a fun way to create letters and in a fun way. So I can show you what that looks like. So if I had some text on here, let's see, hello all, and I highlight it and I start the rainbow magic, it's just going to make my letters magically look like rainbows. So there are some fun little add-ons that you can look for and use. There's some that you can use to get, I think it's in this one, noun project. There's unsplash images. The unsplash photos are usable photos, so you don't have to worry about copyright images, things like that. So you can also put those on in here in your Google Docs. All right, so and the nice thing about Google Docs is it automatically has this little thing right here where it shows your outline, and you can hide this, but you can always bring it back. You can customize your headings. So if I wanted to create a different, if I wanted a actual title, I can make it bigger right away just by clicking here. And instead of having to go to the font size, or if I wanted it smaller or bigger, I could click a different size right here, which is pretty nice. And if I want, I could just use these real quick. So if I kind of helps me outline and keep the same size of headings throughout to make my document nice and neat. And let's see what we have in here. So You have the same options as before. You can share these. You can, of course, rename it, move to the trash. You do not have to save what you create in Google Slides, Drawings, Google Docs, as you did, like as if you were using um, PowerPoint and Microsoft Word, unless you were using the online version. But this one automatically saves and it puts it in your drive for you, so you don't have to worry about where it goes. It just goes into your Google Drive. If you prefer a different language, you can change your language, or if you have students who use a different language, you can direct them to this section so that they can use their native language while they're creating their homework. Um, this little tool down here is really nice. So let's say I have this whole document created and I accidentally used the word affect instead of effect. You know, I used the one with an A instead of an E throughout the whole document. And I can use this find and replace, and I can have it all fixed just by clicking this and have it find all the words where I messed up and fix it throughout my entire document. So this little tool right here, Control H, is very handy. Another thing is the same as in slides. You have all of the same tools here. You can add images from your computer by searching the web, from your drive, photos by URL or your camera, and you have the same things here. Special characters were available, but I use it more in Google Docs than in slides or drawings. Um, so if you have something like accents, my last name is actually supposed to have an accent, but I don't remember where it's supposed to be. So let's just say it's on the A, I think. So if I look up A, I can go to the A's and, oh geez, I don't know which one it was. This one maybe? So, and X out this. And there's my special characters. And so you have a lot of bunch of different characters. You can even look up, I think, happy faces, emojis. So if you want to put some emojis in your documents, or if you want to do an assignment with emojis, I know when I did 4th grade for a little bit last year, my students used emoji stories, and so they had to use at least 10 different emojis throughout their story to write a story. So that was kind of fun. So there's those, and of course headers and footers, your footnotes, those are here. You can do page numbers, you have options, page breaks. You can put in tables, you can put in columns. So there's your options for different columns. You have more options. I know a teacher had asked me about creating like a pamphlet or a booklet, things like that. And I would probably suggest either using the columns here or using Google Drawings for that. And let's see, where was I? Here you have your bulletin numberings, but you also have them over here for just real quick. So if I wanted to number it or bullet it, I can. And I have different bullet options. And tools. Again, teachers use your voice typing. Your voice typing is your friend. So if you want to see what that looks like, let me go to a new line here. And we can check it out. So this is what it looks like. You tap on it and it starts recording once you tap on the microphone. You can say when to stop using the word period. And then you can keep going when you want it to keep recording what you want it to say, period. And that is how the microphone works, period. And then you can just press stop. So you can create your homework just by talking. You can go back and edit a few little things here and there just by using that tool right there. It's pretty
And
nice.
where'd you find that again? Where'd you find that microphone?
So you go to tools and voice typing.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Get those documents out to your students a whole lot faster. Any other questions on Google Docs before I move on to Google Keep? Let's see, I'm going to go back in here. Miss Arlene, I will find out if there's a reason why the add-ons are being blocked or why they're not whitelisted. I don't know. So I'll have to ask IT on that part why they might be whitelisted or why they're not whitelisted, sorry. If there's some specific ones that you're really needing right away, go ahead and let me know, and I'll see if I can get those out.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right, so the last one I have here is Google Keep. And I don't know if any of you have ever seen it or used it, but this is a really nice way to keep all of your notes. So it's like an online sticky pad. You can use it for notes. You can use it for reminders. You can use it. You can label things. You can even edit your labels. You can color code your sticky notes. But it's really simple to go in here. You may have seen it. Let's see. In where was it? You may have seen it in your right here in your Gmail on the side here. So it's on your Gmail here. I think it may even be in calendar on the side there. It's also in here, so you can access it through here. But it is on the side of calendar. But you can use it to collaborate with other teachers. So if I wanted to share this note with another teacher, I can go to Collaborators, and add other people to it and say, okay, team, we need to come up with a list of websites for our scholars to use when they look up stuff for the Civil War. So let's put them all on here, and then we'll go over them and look at them and see which ones we're going to send out to our students. So nothing formal, nothing permanent yet. It's just a way to jot down something that you can share, and then you can, if you really want to keep it, you can always send it to your Google Docs. You can save it to it'll create it in a Google Doc there. So if you don't want it anymore, let's say, or you want to keep it, but you don't need it on your board anymore, you can archive it, and then it'll be in your archived notes. Um, you can use it. So a few ways here. Students can use it for graphic organizers. They can, like as it said, they can drop it down to their Google Drive. They can use it for teachers as checklists, reminders, and notes. Um, it's really easy to take a note. You just click on that little side button and take a note. This is a new note, and that's it. And I don't have to give it a title. I can, but once I'm done with it, it's there. So it can be something real quick, and I can pin it to the top so that it's the one I'm focused on. I can set it as a reminder and put the time and date, like, okay, I need to pick up my son from work at 4 o'clock tomorrow, and I can put the timer on there. And when I'm done with it, I can delete it. And that's how you use Google Keep. There are a few settings. I have it on dark theme. I can take that off and I can save it. And then it goes back to the white screen here. I can, so the rich preview, so if I have this clicked on, it's going to change this. So it added, since this is the National Gallery of Art, it's going to put this little picture here. I don't know if you noticed it before. So if I take that off, and then it just takes that little extra part off. So that part's up to you. I'm going to put my dark theme back on it because I like my dark theme. And you can still access your waffle, things like that. And if you threw something away, your notes get deleted after a while. You can delete them permanently, things like that. And your reminders are in here too, but I don't have any reminders. And that is how you use Google Keep. Is there any questions on what that is? You can also add images. Oops, I forgot. You can add images just like I did this one. Um, it's just a Bitmoji picture, but I wanted to show that you can put a picture in here as well. So, and it can be any pictures from your computer. Any questions on Google Keep? Do reminders sync to Google Calendar? Um, let me see. I don't know because I've never really used the reminders. So let's see. Um, let's do tomorrow at 8 a.m. And let's go to my calendar. Oops. Oops. Oh, it did. So there's my reminder I just put. And it just says reminder. So yes, it does. Pretty nice to know. Sweet. I know, right? And thank you for answering that, Ms. Mendez, because I hadn't used those reminders on there, but I've always used the ones in Google Calendar. And any other questions? We have about 10, 12 more minutes before our session is over. And I will hang around for a little bit if you have any questions on any of the things I went over. Google Docs, Google Drawings, Google Keep, um, Google Slides. What else did I say? Yeah. If not, have a good day, and I hope to see you this afternoon in my next session. Okay, thank you all. So Linda, the recordings are in two places. They'll be on the CMS website, but they're also in a Ludo. So the Cavern Crusade, if you want to earn points for just for watching, you can give a few sentences about what you learned, and you can get some points to earn towards some cool prizes.
Miss Anita,
Yes, ma'am.
is there an easy process to put the Google Slides onto Google Classroom without going to the drive and uploading it?
Oh, sure. So getting your slides into Google Classroom is just like any other assignment. So you go to classwork and create assignment, and you go to add. And since it's already, you have it created in your Google Drive, um, let's say I use the demo slides right here. I just click the slides that I want and insert it. If I want them to view it, then I click that one. But if I want a copy for each student, so if there's something they have to do on the file, I'm going to make a copy for each student. Does that make sense, Veronica? Are you still there? Oh, okay.
Hi, Anita. I have a question about the share settings when you share things as a link.
Yes.
Okay, so if I want to, what would be the benefit of publishing it if I want to share it as a link?
So it turns into a viewed, like a view only. Students won't have to log in. So if like you're sharing like a set of slides, or even a doc, or if you want to put it on a website or anything like that, so that link just becomes public pretty much. So parents can see it, students can see it without having to use their login or anything else. Does that make sense? Versus
Yes,
having,
yes, it
yeah,
does.
versus having to do it another way.
So, and then this is a question about when you share a slide and you have it as viewer, and then when you upload it into Cami, nothing can be changed, right?
Right. So if you want to, so you created something, and in the settings, yeah, so you have to make sure that it is viewer, and then you create it as an assignment, as a Cami assignment. You will create it, make a copy for each student in Google Classroom, or whoever sends that assignment out.
Okay, thank you.
But since you're still doing PE, correct?
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So for you, you could go ahead and convert that file to that PDF, so it's already in a Cami PDF file. Does that make sense? I think Did we go over that?
Yes, yes,
one
converting
time?
it to a PDF. Yes.
Yeah. And then having the files changed that way. Yeah, so it looks like this, and then getting that link from there.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.